Hi guys, it's Jennibellie. This is a video for Aimee. Hello Aimee, who asked me on Twitter if you can make stencils because they are quite expensive. So yes, and you can make them out of your rubbish, household rubbish. What I have here and what I'm going to make the stencils in this tutorial out of is this film. It's kind of like an acetate. I don't know if you can see that. It's got punches in it, if you can see that, because it was from some reports from my workplace, that, you know how they spiral bound them with those plastic wire things, and so I had two reports that I just, when the reports needed to go in the incinerator, I just took these off of. But if you don't have that, what you can use is this stuff I got from a mouse that I bought, and that's quite good, quite a good acetate, quite thick. Or this from an SD card, or this present thing that I got. All this film's quite good. If you don't have anything like that, because obviously these aren't everyday purchases, then things like magazines work fine as a temporary or disposable stencil, or cereal box cardboard like this. And a way to make them last a little bit longer than one use is to put packaging tape. Just cover the whole surface and the other side before you cut the template or the stencil out. Also, another thing that you can use is things that are already, I've got a tissue box here, that will make quite a good stencil. I could cut that out and that would be like a journaling spot there, and I'd cover that in packaging tape. Also, what you can do is fuse plastic bags together. I haven't done a tutorial on fusing plastic bags because there's plenty out there, so just search it. But the fusible plastic bags works quite well as a stencil as well. You just need to make sure that you do not have any air bubbles between the layers of the plastic. And then finally, things like die cuts I use quite a bit for stencils. So the left over bit of a die cut, can you see that? I don't know. This is an acetate die cut piece and it's got flowers and leaves on it, or something like this. This is only cardboard, chipboard, and I've used it, as you can see, quite a few times with stencils. So they do last. They're not going to last you forever, but for a few journal pages they will work. So there is plenty of household rubbish in your house that you could use for making stencils. Right, so what I want to do for the first stencil is pick an image out of my art journal and show you guys how you can create more artwork out of artwork you've already done. So this one here might make a nice stencil, but I think I'm going to go this one because it has nice fat lines to it and I really like this journal page. So figure out with your material which way around will be the most economical for your, so I think there's probably better, so I can cut that there and have the rest of this acetate here for my stencil. Now, because it's acetate that I'm using, obviously it's see-through and I can draw directly onto it, but say you were going to use a cereal box or something like that, what you would do first is use a piece of tracing paper to trace over the image and then transfer it on with graphite before you draw onto it and cut it out. But obviously I don't need to do that step because I have this here. So you need to think about the block images. So that as a whole, the eyebrows and the eyes, you need to think about the largest areas. Okay, I'm just doing that there as a hint at her jawline, and I haven't joined this up her chin here to her neck. I'm going to keep those two pieces separate. Can you see? I'm going to keep that little line there because if I cut that, then what would happen, considering that this part of the neck is going to go down here, is this would all become a flap that you could lift up. Can you see what I'm talking about? So because this section here is going to be joined, it would be like three sides of a square, I guess, and would rip up quite easily, and it's very easy to tear it if you just catch it on a funny angle. So that is why I'm doing it like this, you see. So if you have a big image that you want to do and all the lines are joined up, just leave gaps somewhere that's appropriate so that the stencil will last you. Okay, so now we're going to cut our stencil. As you can see, I've stuck it onto my craft mat with some masking tape, which I do reuse a lot, as you can see. I don't throw anything away. So take your craft knife and just begin to cut into it. Okay, so here is the moment of truth. Let's see if it works. Stippling brush. And I just have some acrylic paint here, but for stenciling you need to take a little amount and then dab it off. You could, I guess, if you wanted to here, stick down some grips or something to keep it in place. Incidentally, I quite like these as well. These little punched holes where the report was binded. I quite like that. Might use those in future just for stencils too. All about working with what you have. Okay. Voila. On the lips I might cut out a little bit more. But if you can see, because obviously there's this hole at the centre of the mouth, if I was to cut around in one line, then obviously all of her lips will come out. I might do that in the future as well, but as you can see I've just done a little bit to give a small amount of definition. And the reason why I didn't include anything else up here is so that I can alter this any way that I want now. I can paint the hair any way that I want, kind of like this stamp underneath. Do you remember this stamp from the homemade stamps with cardboard tutorial that I did? Well, that was kind of like my first impression, and I just tested it, and obviously because I'd left the hair and everything else I can do as I want. This is my experiments journal, so don't expect anything to be utterly fantastic here. It's just about playing with techniques and things, but that's what the purpose is when you do a face. If you do it so that it's not completely, you know, the hairline, everything else isn't done, you can alter it again and again and again, and turn it into a face of anyone that you want. I could make that face into a man, etc, etc. that was useful, Aimee, and anybody else that wants to make stencils, you can use it out of anything that's in your house.